as we begin to settle into ourselves. On the third chime, we'll begin our meditation. When the meditation is through, on the third chime, we'll awaken our bodies and return back to the place and space in the present moment. As you breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth or nose, just envisioning that breath. As you draw it into the body, imagine the earth is presenting your body with light just below the surface that you're sitting upon. As you breathe in, this light begins to enter the body through the root chakra, located at the base of the spine. This breath in draws that light into the body, up in through the chakras, through the center of the body, up to the mind. As you exhale that breath, releasing that light through the crown chakra at the top of the head, and allowing that light, like a funnel of water, to travel down the sides of the body back to the earth which it came from. As you continue to breathe in, drawing that light in and allowing it to surround the physical body with loving light and energy. As this light and energy surrounds the body through the breath, each individual breath expanding the space with which that light connects to, allowing that light to spill out through that funnel onto the spaces and surfaces with which you're sitting among. On the next breath in, imagining that light swelling and filling the room that you happen to be in. Expanding and sending that light further out to the rest of your home, and just envisioning this white light surrounding your home, place, and space with support, guidance, and inner strength to navigate any struggles that may come along your pathway. As you breathe, I just want you to shift your focus of awareness from your breath to your body. I want you to pay close attention to any background noises you may be hearing within your personal space or elsewhere. Bringing your attention to your ears and allowing the awareness to open and expand so that you're responsive to the sounds as they arise and however they may present themselves. just allowing yourself to gently acknowledge those sounds and move on. Don't go searching and listening for particular sounds. Just simply open your senses of awareness to be receptive to how the sound arrives, noting whether that sound is close by or far away, whether that sound is in front of the body, behind, or beside. Maybe your sound is coming above or below your body and space you're within. You've opened up a whole new space of sound which surrounds you, being mindfully aware of subtle sounds or being mindfully aware of the space between sounds that you may hear. Potentially, you're painfully aware of silence that sits around you. Just be aware of these sounds as sensations. When you find that you're solely focused on the sounds, reconnect again with the direction of which that sound comes from. Familiarize yourself with the volume of the sound. Maybe you can feel the vibration of that sound. Instead of trying to do a deep dive into the meaning or source or nuisance of the sound, just simply acknowledge, absorb, and create awareness of the sounds which surround you. Whenever you notice that your awareness is no longer focused on the sound in the moment, gently acknowledge where your mind has moved, then reattune your awareness back to the sounds as they arise and pass from one moment to the next. The act of paying attention to the sounds which surround us allow us to be able to be more aware of our surroundings in the present moment, not drawing the mind mapping to the past or forecasting to the future, but allowing the senses to take in the very moment through the awareness of thoughts. When you're ready to let go of the awareness of sounds and refocus your attention so that your objects of awareness are thoughts as events in the mind, it becomes easier to allow them to arise, develop, and pass away. Much like a rolling tide, they arise, they come to shore, and they return back to where they came from. Much like the tide, we also have the power with our minds and with our sense of sound to make thoughts eventually disappear. There's no need to make them come or go, but allowing them to arise naturally in the same way we do with sound. As it rises and passes, we also have the power to do with our thoughts. From time to time, we may see value in bringing awareness to our thoughts. The best way to do this is to envision these thoughts as though they're a movie being observed from the outside. We now become spectators of the mind, separating ourselves from our thoughts can provide us with a constant stream of clarity so that we're able to decide whether we want to follow the thought pattern that the mind has laid forward or whether we want to challenge those thoughts. As you breathe in, I just want you to spend some time observing your own thoughts on the screen that we've created within the mind's eye. If a thought brings with it an intense emotion or feeling, whether that be pleasant or unpleasant, make note of the emotional charge and the intensity of those feelings within the body. If at any time your mind becomes unfocused and overwhelmed, or keeps getting repeatedly drawn into the same thought, notice where in the body you feel sensation arise. Often when we don't like what's happening, we feel a sense of contraction or tightness in the face, shoulders, or torso. This is the mind's way of telling us to push that thought and feeling aside. See if you notice any of this going on for you, if intense feelings arise. Once you've noticed it, decide if it's possible for you to return to the awareness of your breath. Returning to the awareness of the sense of your body within this light-filled space which we created. Using that light, that space, and this moment as an anchor to stabilize your awareness. In this act, we haven't pushed the thought out of mind. We haven't fled from the discomfort of the emotion. We've decided to sit within that space, that thought, feeling, and emotion. And we've created a space of awareness within the physical body that tells us we are not locked into that thought. We are not locked into that moment. But we are sitting with it, guided by loving light, self-compassion, and an awareness that allows us to feel stable, supported, and grounded within the breath. There may be a particular thought that's captured your interest, one which you may want to explore at a later time. But for now, we allow the tide to carry that thought back to where it came from, focusing the attention on the breath or sound and current understanding of the physical body and the thoughts about what we're experiencing in this moment. As we sit in this place and space, connected to the breath and connected to the body, we're going to take a little journey. A journey just below the surface of the water, deep within the murky muds of Mother Earth. We see a small seed. The seed begins to flourish and grow, sprouting from the muddy waters below into a small bud. As the sun rises and sets, the seed continues to grow a vine, leading toward the water's surface. As the sun rises the next day, the seed begins to form into a leaf. When the sun sets, the seed retreats back down through the waters to the floor, where that mud and that beginning first sprouted its need for light. A whole day passes and the sun rises again, and as that vine makes its way to the surface to capture the energy of that light, from that leaf sprouts a bud. Throughout that day, that bud absorbs all the solar energy from the sun. And as that sun sets, the bud and leaf return back to the murky waters that sit below. Day after day, the leaf and the bud return to the water's surface to meet with the sun's energy, to meet with the other seeds that have come to the surface from those murky waters below. And as the days pass, that bud begins to flower. Each evening, returning back to the murky waters, and each morning, returning to capture the vibrance of the sun. This flower we speak of is the lily pad. Sprouted from a single leaf and bud, flourishing in the loving light of Mother Earth and retreating to the murky waters on its own with each passing day. Recognizing that our thoughts are very similar. We can choose to stay within the murky waters, never having the support of sunshine to help us flourish and grow. Or we can challenge ourselves to make the journey up to the surface, to bloom and flourish as nature intended it. From time to time, the mind likes to let us believe that we're trapped within those murky waters. Our thoughts tug us in directions that may not allow us to make it to the surface. So instead, we stay at the bottom, raising our head to the surface of that water, observing the light as it still beautifully dances along the pond's edge. We're still receiving that light. That light is still available to us. But for whatever reason, we can't quite make it to the surface. So we lay in rest. We give ourselves compassion to know that when the sun rises tomorrow, we may be able to make it up to the surface, up to the sunlight, to open our petals and be aware of the beauty that lies around us. For in the murky waters, we cannot see all of the opportunities that we have available to us. Within the murky waters, we can wait until the day when we have the ability to rise to the surface and enjoy the light that we've witnessed from below. As important as the light and sun is to that lotus flower, so are our thoughts to our heart. Knowing that we can create a different pathway within the mind which challenges our thoughts, allowing us a better way to navigate to the surface when we're strong enough to do so. But always knowing and recognizing that the support to rise sits below us. The light to draw us up sits above us. These things will always be true for as long as we navigate the human existence. what is below will always provide us support and stability. What is above will always ignite us with hope and faith for better days. From time to time, we'll have that self-criticism jump into our scope and tell us that we're not capable or we can't see the light. But with the simple act of opening our eyes, we can see all that is in front of us. And with the act of closing our eyes, we can see that the possibilities are limited. Believing that choice is available to you is a big part of being able to navigate the mind mapping. As you breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth or nose, I want you to think of all of the opportunities that are available to you. All of the opportunities in this very moment to make choices and decisions that change what your mind tells you. All of the opportunities to take action, to rest, and to recover. All of these opportunities and options provide you with beacons of hope to be able to perceive your current situation differently than you ever have before. Deciding with each and every breath what the water brings to the shoreline and what the tide takes back out. You see, when we breathe in the possibilities, it is much easier to let go of the obstacles. For if we sit within the murky waters and just look straight forward, there is no opportunity. If we sit within the murky waters and raise our heads to the surface, we can see the light that lies just above us, which presents opportunity for growth. Just allowing those thoughts to drift into and out of the mind. For they are not our anchor. Our anchor lies within that light which we've absorbed. Our anchor allows us the power to choose whether we stay put or rise above. From time to time, the mind will tell you that there are no options available. There is no opportunity. But even in complete darkness, there's always a glimmer or crack of light that shows us the way out. as we learn to challenge the thoughts of the mind, we learn different ways of navigating those moments of darkness. When we have more escape routes, it becomes more clear to know which one will work at which point. Creating challenges to those thoughts allows us to take control of the outcome in the best way we can with the resources that we have available. Let's return back to the act of acknowledging sound. Taking a small detour in thought is perfectly acceptable. Just remembering the breath is the anchor to returning back to the present moment and allowing the tide to pull those thoughts back out to where they came from. As you sit with the stability of earth below you and the loving light of universe above you, repeat after me. May I be happy. May I feel loved. May I know my value. May I rise in spite of my struggle. May I be resilient to the obstacles within my path. May I release the mind mapping that leads me to believe I am trapped. May I realize my heart is stronger than my mind. May I be supported. May I be renewed by the light that lies within. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth or nose, whatever's most comfortable for you. Just taking a moment, placing the palms on the knees or lap. Breathing in and breathing out. Checking in with the body. Checking in with sound. Checking in with the mind. the greatest protection to ward off negative thinking patterns that drag you down to the murky waters is simply lifting your head to the light, knowing that you're supported and connected to a source as bright as the light that lies within. Breathing and being. Gently and slowly bringing awareness back to the body by wiggling the fingers or toes. Creating a little bit of movement within the middle body. Maybe shifting your hips side to side, moving the torso, bringing your sense of awareness back to the place and space of light-filled, loving, supportive, compassionate energy that you've created. At your own pace, gently opening the eyes and returning your awareness to the room that you sit within. As you enjoy a renewed sense of opportunity and choice that lies within through the light. As we begin to settle into ourselves, on the third chime we'll begin our meditation. When the meditation is through, on the third chime we'll awaken our bodies and return back to the place and space in the present moment.